short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
The United States and Israel has launched joint military strikes on Iran in what President Donald Trump described as the start of major combat operations under the US codename Operation Epic Fury. Trump announced the action in a video posted on Truth Social, framing it as a necessary response to eliminate imminent threats from the Iranian regime's military, missile capabilities and nuclear ambitions. He emphasized that the strikes target the repressive apparatus and machinery of slaughter while sparing civilians and the Iranian people themselves. Trump stated the goal is to defend American interests, prevent nuclear weapon acquisition, and create conditions for the Iranian people to take their fate into their own hands by toppling the regime. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a statement praising the joint effort as a decisive step to remove an existential threat posed by Iran's terrorist regime. He highlighted months of close coordination with the US and confirmed Israeli participation in precision strikes aimed at key security and military sites. The strikes followed nearly 2 months of widespread anti-government protests inside Iran that began in late December 2025 and intensified into January 2026, triggered by economic collapse, currency devaluation, and long-standing grievances against theocratic rule. Human rights groups, including the US-based human rights activist news agency HRANA, estimate at least 7,000 people killed in the crackdown, with figures potentially much higher. Some reports from medical networks and opposition sources suggest tens of thousands dead or missing. Iranian authorities have acknowledged around 3,000 to 3,100 deaths, blaming rioters and terrorists, while imposing near-total internet blackouts and mass arrests to suppress information and dissent. The protests, among the largest in Iran's history, saw students, workers, and ordinary citizens demanding regime change, with chants rejecting both the current clerical leadership and any return to monarchy. Strikes reportedly targeted military and security infrastructure, including sites near Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei's office in Tehran, as well as locations in Isfahan, Karaj, Qom, Kermanshah, and other areas. Iranian state media showed plumes of smoke over the capital and confirmed explosions in central districts. Initial reports indicate precision strikes avoiding mass civilian areas, though exact damage and casualties remain unconfirmed amid communication restrictions. Exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, living in the United States and increasingly prominent as a figurehead for opposition, issued a video address shortly after the strikes. He described the operation as a humanitarian intervention aimed at the regime, not the Iranian nation or its people, and urged Iran's military, police and security forces to defect, lay down weapons and join the protesters for a stable transition. Pahlavi called for maximum defections to prevent chaos, reiterated his readiness to lead a temporary democratic transition, and appealed directly to President Trump to exercise caution to minimize civilian harm. He told Iranians the moment of final victory is near and that they must return to the streets to finish the job themselves. Iranian officials vowed a crushing and decisive response, with state media reporting preparations for retaliation. Air raid sirens sounded across Israel as a precautionary measure, and the Israeli Home Front Command instructed citizens to stay near shelters. No large-scale Iranian missile or drone barrage has been confirmed yet, but expectations are high for direct or proxy retaliation targeting Israel, US bases in the region, or Gulf energy infrastructure. As of now, strikes appear ongoing or in initial waves, with the US military indicating plans for several days of operations. Oil prices surged over 8% in early trading on fears of Strait of Hormuz disruption. Global airlines rerouted flights fights and markets remain volatile. No official casualty figures from Iran yet, but smoke plumes and blasts in Tehran suggest significant impacts. Possible consequences are profound. Success in degrading Iran's military and security apparatus could accelerate regime collapse amid ongoing protests, embolden defections, and open a path for internal change, potentially the most serious challenge to the Islamic Republic since 1979. Failure or heavy civilian toll, however, risks rallying hardliners, accelerating covert nuclear efforts, and drawing in proxies, Houthis, Iraqi militias, Hezbollah remnants for a multi-front war. Energy prices could spike dramatically if shipping is threatened. US involvement deepens entanglement in the region at a time when Trump has emphasized avoiding endless wars. Regionally, Gulf states quietly welcome pressure on Iran, but fear blowback. Russia and China may increase support for Tehran. The timing aligns with the collapse of nuclear diplomacy. Geneva talks stalled February 26th, and escalating domestic unrest. Trump's framing as humanitarian and regime change oriented marks a sharp departure from previous US policy focused solely on nuclear containment. Reza Pahlavi's rapid response and calls for defections suggest pre-coordination or at least alignment with opposition networks. Watch Khamenei's expected address, IRGC statements, and any signs of military fractures. The next 24 to 72 hours will determine if this accelerates regime downfall or ignites a prolonged regional conflict. The Middle East is now in one of its most precarious moments in decades.